On to action.
Here we go. All right, guys, welcome to the first round of Battle for Zendikar Draft. I'm Matt Tabak. I'm
Go
here
ahead.
jumping all over Marshall Sutcliffe.
Yeah, just jump in there. I like this. No, you were going with it.
And welcome.
Tell them what we're doing.
So we are checking out the first round of Battle for Zendikar Draft here at the Magic Community Cup 2015. On the left side of your screen, you see Worth Walpert. If you can blame him for something, you can blame him for this.
It's funny because if you look at Kenji, he's wearing his Blameworth t-shirt.
Yeah,
right
we
now.
can't quite see it right now. His left arm's in the way, but Kenji is wearing the hashtag Blameworth t-shirt, which I have to get one of those. Do they even make them in our size? I seriously need one.
Yes.
And so we're going to jump into it here in any second now. Players are just getting started.
And Kenji, with his Blameworth t-shirt, has cast Transgress the... What are we transgressing again?
That's transgress
look,
the you can the
mind.
Transgress the mind. This is that card we talked about. He drafted two of them. One of them, I believe, one of them made the main deck.
One did. That's correct.
Yeah, he moved one to the side.
Well, we know that also because he just cast it.
Right. I meant the second one.
Yeah, the second one is in the board.
Is it really?
Yeah,
okay.
it is, yeah.
Awesome. So he's going to get a look at Worth's hand.
By the way, that artwork is horrifying.
It's, well, yeah, but purposefully so.
Yeah, no, I mean, Cynthia Shepard, well done.
Cynthia Shepard, an excellent art director for Wizards of the Coast. Also produces fine art. She does, yes.
Oh.
I sit like 50 feet from her. Who knew? So we're getting a look at both players' hands. We see those nettle drones in hand for Kenji.
All right, so let's see what Worth Walpert's up to here. He's got a McKindy Slide Runner. Well, things are happening quickly here. Here's a nettle drone. For Kenji, it's a 3-1. I know you couldn't see it quite on the bottom there.
So looks
like both of them are willing to kind of slug it out here. Kenji's just going to take two. Not going to block with that nettle drone. It's too important to his long-term game plan. Again, he tried to draft an aggressive deck. It ended up being a little bit light on the curve. He only has 1/2 drop in the deck, so he's leaning a little harder on these kind of synergistic things that he has with like these nettle drones to get the job done, but they can do it. I mean, look at the amount of damage he's going to be able to start piling on here every single turn.
Yeah, once both of these get online, each colorless spell is going to mean 2 damage heading at Worth's face. So that pressure is beginning to mount.
There's a land off the top for Walpert, which is going to grow his McKindy Slide Runner, and it looks like this Valakut Predator also goes from being a 2/2 to a 4/4. So when it's Worth's turn and he's playing lands, he is rumbling and rumbling hard here.
So Worth is certainly on the landfall angle now. Now, he does have an Evolving Wilds on the battlefield.
Wow.
Which is going to let him put a land onto the battlefield at basically at will.
Yeah, if there's no blocks here, I wouldn't be surprised to see him just crack it right now. It represents an additional 3 damage getting through guaranteed. What it also does, though, is it means that he may not have landfall next turn. He might want to save it.
Right. Worth is out of lands in hand.
So he's going to have to weigh it out. Also, you know, he may need the land for mana next turn. If he's going to do that, then you just crack it now.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's probably not content to sit on 3 lands to tap for mana, so no surprise there.
Yeah, but it's a huge hit for him. That's 10 damage.
That is a very mighty swing.
This is what Kenji likes to do to his opponents in draft, and not this time. Whoa, wait a minute. Is that a natural connection up there for Worth as well?
It is.
Wow, so he could hit for 13?
Let's see if he goes for it.
Do it.
I definitely would. This is too much to pass up.
Well, this is interesting because he has the fight card, unnatural
aggression.
Aggression, and he can just take out one of these nettle drones right now that he's got all these landfall triggers up. Yeah, he's going to do that.
Okay. That's reasonable. Now he's got the 6/6 creature.
Yeah, the nettle drones are annoying, right? And he knows that one of the ways he can fall behind here is by taking too much damage from one of these things.
If every spell is 2 more damage. Well, Kenji's time being at double-digit life is over.
Yes, he's at 8.
So he follows up with Dominator Drone.
And what is this? What does Dominator Drone do?
Dominator Drone is
When it ingests, you can make people lose 2 life. Okay.
Yeah.
So Worth is at 13, but there's a land drop. Now it's 7 damage, which is nearly lethal, and he's got that natural connection. Now, the natural connection, I can't zoom in on it, but it's rampant growth at instant speed.
That's
for 3 mana.
Basically correct.
Kenji just has to block something here, right? The really ugly part is that the McKindy Slide Runner, it's got trample.
It does.
And he's got a 1 toughness creature and a 2 toughness creature, just Kenji. So this is a tough spot for him.
So we're seeing the red-black deck. Traditionally a more aggressive archetype, but Kenji's build didn't quite have the early game power that we are used to.
Oh, here comes a pretty nice 2-for-1, I suppose. He's going to double block, leaving up just a couple of mana. But even as it sits, Worth can just say, sure, trade. Why take any risk? He's going to go ahead and natural connection because he wants to land untapped next turn anyway, and it gets him an extra point of damage through. But he doesn't. He could just say, sure, I'll take a 2-for-1. As it stands, it ends up being a chump. And
yeah,
a
that's
trade.
going to bring that up to 6/6, correct?
Yeah, which means that it's going to die still.
Yeah.
So. And he has another McKindy Slide Runner as the follow-up.
So 2 power creatures with trample that, of course, are going to get +1/+0. If Worth can find a land.
That thing can get first strike, but unfortunately for Kenji, he is way too far behind now. A couple of trades offered up here by Worth. Kenji's going to oblige him.
Crashes in.
Yeah.
And Worth is on the trample plan.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, he didn't go with the trample plan. I stand corrected. We have the 4/3, so he's on the slightly increased power plan, and it's enough.
Yeah, and Kenji just could not put it together that game. Worth was the one with the 2 mana plays. He had the McKindy Slide Runners. They got off to an edge, and Kenji never caught up.
Yeah, a little more aggression out of 3-color Worth Walpert there.
Yeah, I mean, I liked where Kenji was at. Like, even though his deck doesn't have the quick starts, he does have a powerful mid game with the 3s and the 4s, but it's a little slow. And you know what? They don't play that great at defense either. And Worth, with a much more streamlined aggressive deck, is able to just run over Kenji.
Yeah.
We've seen that from this format. I got the draft last night a little bit. And you can beat down here. I kind of view this as a mix between Rise of the Eldrazi and old Zendikar from my mentality. But it actually plays out like that a little bit, too. Like, it doesn't feel like old Rise of the Eldrazi, which was a very slow format. But it doesn't feel quite as fast as Zendikar. But you can thump. If you want to thump, you can thump.
Yeah, there's definitely some thumping available.
Yeah.
Rise of the Eldrazi, just one of the classically slower formats. You're building battle cruiser magic, like we say, building toward those huge, powerful late-game plays. Zendikar, very fast and aggressive. If you didn't have a turn 2 play, you were often hopelessly behind. This does sit somewhere in the middle. It can kind of shift back and forth. The black-red aggressive deck, like you said, wants lots of 2-drops because it needs to get out to a fast start. And if it doesn't, we see basically what we just saw. So.
All right, well, let's get back down to business for these 2 players here as, again, we're in the first round of Battle for Zendikar draft here in Renton. Hey, Kenji drew his 2-drop. He did it.
He's got his 2-drop. He's got plenty of land.
Oh, yeah.
Worth is
mulliganing. Look at the smile on Kenji's face. How dare he?
Worth is super excited to take advantage of the new mulligan rule.
Look at he says Kenji's asking him right now. So do you blame yourself for this or? All right, Kenji's going to get to show off that culling drone a little here. Yeah, he draws a 6. Not necessarily what he wants to see at this point, but he'll take it.
So there's a nettle drone over on Worth's side of the table in his hand.
Oh, it'll make Kenji jealous at least.
Not sure how much synergy that has with the rest of Worth's deck, but still an efficient pinger.
Wow, this is a good draw for Kenji here. Look at what he's got multiple 3-drops to choose from. He's going to choose with the Vile Aggregate here. It's got Trample, Ingest, and its power is equal to the number of colorless creatures you control. Which means that next turn, it will be a 3/5 with Trample and Ingest.
Yeah, Kenji may not realize it right now, but he's actually racing Omnath, I'm pretty sure.
Wow, there is an Omnath in Worth's hand. I just saw that.
Yeah.
Now, that thing costs 7 mana, though, right?
Does cost 7 mana.
I think Kenji can race that at this point.
It's a 5/5. And that landfall ability of Omnath puts 5/5 red and green elemental creatures onto the battlefield. So
does that sound like fun?
Sounds like fun if you can get that much mana. I'm not sure Worth is going to get there, though.
And it looks like he's got Retreat to
Valakut,
which is +2/+0 to a creature, or target creature can't block. Unfortunately for Worth, Retreat to Valakut is not what he wants to see, really, in any capacity at this point, as it's effectively an aggressive card only. It really only matters if you're on the beatdown. And since he's creatureless currently, that's not going to do it. And it's only going to be a couple of hits here, especially with Nettle Drone.
The colorless creatures just keep on coming for Kenji.
Wow, this has just been a thumping. You know, Worth got off to a slow start this game, and Kenji's really capitalized.
It wouldn't totally surprise me if Kenji draws Crater Hoof Behemoth at this point.
Just hoofs him.
Yeah. It's been that kind of game.
Yeah. Take 6, go to 2, and I doubt that Worth has many outs at this point.
Kenji squeaking out a little bit of information with the ingest. Worth is playing Mountains. Maybe not the most useful information. And that is all she wrote.
That's all she wrote for that one. So Kenji with a big smile from Worth there. And they're going to get a game 3 going here. Now, when we came into the round, the Wizards of the Coast team was ahead in the standings, but only by 2 points. They were about as close as you can get in this competition.
Yep.
And but it does mean that the onus is on the community team to finish out here. And if you've never watched a Community Cup before, the community team has lost. This is not a situation where it's some setup for the they lose. It does happen, and there's quite a bit on the line for them too. Nobody wants to be the team that comes in here and loses it.
Yeah, you might think Wizards is kind of running the show here. The team Wizards might have an advantage because of that, but history would not be on the side of that argument. No. Wizards has taken a pasting from the community, and rightly so. The community is what makes Wizards what it is. So,
this draws a lot worse for Kenji here. First off, he's going to need to find a land. Now, if he does, he can play a couple of 3-drops back-to-back, and he did. Nice draw there for Kenji, and thankfully for him, a pretty slow start from Worth here, too. Hasn't really done much. Both players with slow draws this time.
Yeah, Worth is going to ramp up his lands. He's got all 3 colors. There's no worries there.
He needs a creature.
Yeah, as we get to the mid-game, Worth's hand is going to come alive there. There's the 3/4 Devoid Trample. Tunneling Geopede for Kenji.
Landfall pings your opponent for 1. Okay.
So we've got some reusable sources of damage, none of which online right now.
And this Vestige of Emrakul is a 3/4 with Trample and Devoid.
Yeah, it's just holding the line now with that 4 toughness.
It's doing a good job, though, because Kenji did miss on the last draw. He got lucky to draw that 3rd mountain, but unfortunately he drew a black card for the last turn, so a little unlucky for Kenji there, and he is going to have to try to hang on. And the real thing that I'm wondering here is can Worth capitalize, right? This is the time for Worth to really try to beat down. He's so far ahead on mana that he needs to be able to just get through and get Kenji. And it looks like he had a removal spell there, too, to kill one of his creatures.
Yeah, I think
Touch of the Void.
I believe that was Touch of the Void.
3 damage to target creature or player, and it also exiles a creature if it dies after taking that hit. But more importantly, that cleared the way.
Right, so we saw the retreat to Valakut. We saw land drop after the retreat to give his creature +2/+0, and then remove the potential block.
This is pretty cool, too. What's happening now is Worth actually didn't play a land that turn on purpose. Ooh, a swamp off the top for Kenji. He might be back in this. Worth waited until he had this little guy, the Snappy Gnarlid here, because now he gets 2 different landfall triggers. He gets 1 from this and 1 from this, and that's really nice for him. In fact, he's actually going to wait an additional turn because his draw step was a Valakut Predator, which is another landfall creature. And he says, well, you know what? If I'm just going to hold on to my land for a couple extra turns here and really maximize on getting that landfall. And I think that's going to work out for him, too, because he's got Kenji way on his back heels here.
Yeah, Worth is also sitting on a Swell of Growth in his hand.
What does that do?
So it's target creature gets +2,
no.
+2 until end of turn.
Kenji
and
just double blocked, Matt.
Oh, but here's the thing. Not only do you get the +2/+2, but you can also put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. So if he wants, that Plains
still
could
just
come
gonna
down.
wait.
I think he's going to hang on to it because the +2/+2 is enough to get a good outcome here out of this combat.
Yeah, and then he can play his land next turn and still get his Valakut Predator triggered as well. So he is going to go ahead and hold on to it. But that was a huge blowout, and Kenji finds himself falling further and further behind the better mana draw here for Worth Walpert.
Now, a nice draw for Kenji in this situation, Radiant Flames.
He can do 2 to everything with this.
That's going to clear a couple of creatures out.
That was a really nice draw. Now, a couple of lands in a row, though, and Kenji's going to be dead if he can't put up a big defense. But another fortunate draw for him. And once again, we see Worth hold the land in hand. He's got, he's got this retreat to trigger, which can make a block non-existent, and then there's a McKinney Slide Runner, though it now hits the bin as well due to another draw from Kenji.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Kenji that he didn't have 5 lands on the battlefield in a previous turn because he could have done the Flames and also Boiling Earth.
Man, Kenji just has to hold on until he can get up to enough mana to start casting those fatties.
Yeah, I guess he would have needed 7
Turn
land really
against
to take everything out.
Is he going to use turn against as a fog, as we say, just steal the creature so it can't attack this
He
turn?
might have to.
It's a lethal attack.
Yeah, he's going to have to. Maybe there was a chance Worth played a creature spell pre-combat, but that's unlikely.
It's unlikely, but you got to wait and hope. Oh, he actually kind of is, isn't he? He's Boiling Earthing with Awaken.
Worth getting a little greedy here.
Oh, no. Is Kenji going to blow him out here with
he is.
turn against?
He's definitely walking into a blowout here.
Oh, Kenji. Oh, he had it. Look at this. Block.
Worth attempting to rip defeat from the jaws of victory.
And he finds success at it as well.
The battlefield is clear and Worth's hand is empty. Kenji, if you're going to come back, the time is now.
All right, he's going to start with Mindraker, though it's not actually going to get any cards here as Worth is fresh out of him, and Worth has to find a burn spell or something. What did he find?
It's Stone Fury. That's creature removal.
Okay, so he kills a creature, but there it is, the 6th mana, and now the 5/8's going to come on.
Worth holds serve, but a 5/8. This will buy Kenji some lands also.
Theoretically, and it did. Oh my God, is Kenji actually going to win this game?
He's poised.
Worth played around a single removal spell by Awakening that turn.
Worth was just a little greedy there, I think.
Well, I mean, look, if Kenji has a removal spell of some sort, then he'd want to have the redundant attacker, right?
Yeah, sure. Makes sense.
But at the same time, he played right into the hands of what Kenji actually had, and what a blowout.
Yeah, there was even a Ray command in the format.
Tunneling Geopede, Ping You, all this extra mana, and he's got places to put it. Now it's a Conduit of Ruin.
The floodgates have opened on Kenji's side. That battlefield's filling up. What does Worth have? Resolute Blade Master, excuse me.
Okay. Well, it's lethal.
Not the Beastmaster.
I mean, there's no way that Kenji's actually going to let it kill him, but it is lethal.
Yeah.
Actually, he must chump block here anyway, right?
So it's a 2/2 with double strike on the rally ability, but that's just not going to do anything this turn.
But Kenji just gets to rumble with the team here, and Worth is obliged to chump block.
Yeah.
And that's it. Kenji does win the match.
Wow, unbelievable.
And peels one out for the home team there. I shouldn't say the home team, for the visitors.
Yes.
Wow, that was
for the
close.
defending champions.
Yes.
Woo. That was amazing. Worth, played around the wrong thing, like sometimes you have to do.
Sometimes it happens. Welcome back to the booth here. What a close one. Kenji, Numot the Nummy picks it up here. Do we have any red zone? Nothing?
Well, we don't have any completed matches. If you want it, we can catch the 3rd game between Allison, Medwin, and Joel Larson.
Okay.
If we want to look at that, that's been. I can go back. I would love to show you guys game 2 from that when it's when the match
you have
is
to wait
completed.
till it's all.
You have to wait for the
ready.
match to be complete. Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah,
we'll just watch that
absolutely.
game. Sure.
Okay. Yeah, we have a live look in now on Joel Larson.
Whoa, Yo likes his cards very tall. I kind of even them out on Magic Online.
Yoel, if you watch the replay later, let me just say thank you for that. We in the booth appreciate
No,
it.
I don't. We can't see the ones on the back.
Oh, right. No, they're too big.
It's a zero-sum game, this one.
So he's
Matt,
got a Pilgrim's Eye in play.
I just see tall things. I get very excited.
There's a Colostria Healer and a Core Castigator in play for Allison.
So I'm sorry, Brian, which game is this?
This is game 3.
Okay.
And Joel's lands have done a lot of attacking in this match thus far.
Yeah, I see Yoel has the Lumbering Falls there. One of the new lands that can animate themselves. That one, the green-blue one.
A couple Core Castigators attack into a pair of a reach creature and a flyer, but Tandem Tactics takes them both down. And I think Yoel was okay with that. He's got just a plain old-fashioned planar outburst there to throw. He's just like, I'll 3-for-1 you here.
Yep, battlefield clear, 5 lands to 4 in favor of Yoel. And wave 2 begins with Incubator Drone.
Yeah, and he's been sitting on this plummet for a while, so the first flyer that Ali played after the Wrath is not long for this world if Yoel wants it to die.
Yeah, I wonder what flyers Yoel saw in the previous games that Plummet came in.
He saw a lot of flyers.
Okay.
Is really what it comes down to, and it's largely just the Shadow Gliders.
Okay. Well, they make fine targets, so...
You know, he was reasonably certain he would be able to find a target for that spell. And there it is.
Nobody ever plays around the second one,
No.
so we'll see how that prediction works out.
There goes the big vampire.
So Ali with 2 cards in hand. We'll see how patient Yoel can be on the Planar Outburst. 8 mana gets the Awaken out of that. Needs 3 white, though.
He's holding a natural connection, though. He can get
Yep.
that if he needs it. In the meantime, he's happy to race back and forth here.
Yeah. Lumbering Falls turns into a 3/3 creature with hexproof, if memory serves. So you're happy to get the 4/5 out of the way on Ali's side with the double block. The Incubator lives through. Core Castigator is the follow-up. 3/1 that can't be blocked by that Eldrazi Scion that Yoel has.
This is where you see where Joel's deck is able to just sort of take over. It's like, okay, I'm going to bounce your stupid Core Castigator, because that's how you talk about your opponent's cards, not saying anything about the card itself. And then I'm going to make a 3/3 haste creature in the process.
Yoel correctly animating one of his islands, which is the...
You say that correctly just because islands are the best?
just color he has the most redundancy on, and islands rule.
Yeah, he does not want to risk any of his planes. So what's kind of nice about Planar Outburst, again, destroy all non-land creatures. So that island will live through the Planar Outburst and maybe make a friend.
Yeah,
Go
absolutely.
into the red zone with. So Ali's down to 1 card, replays the Castigators.
So you'll happy to sit back for a turn, looking for the natural connection before his next turn. That's going to find him probably a 3rd source of white.
Yeah, and this happened also. He's also going to get one of the better cards in Ali's deck here with the Planar Outburst, the Hero of Gomafada.
Indestructible for the moment over on Ali's side, but that's not going to last forever.
See, and anticipate from Yoel. He's trying to decide what he wants to take here. couple of the removal spells or the Skyrider Elf. He's like, I've got a pretty good removal spell here.
Yul setting up very nicely for an outburst. Okay, I'm told on this live look-in that we don't have the hands right now, but we know that Yul is holding a second planar outburst. He cast one earlier this game.
There it is. Second planar outburst. This one's foil. Little style points there.
That is foil.
Look at that. That is disgusting.
And of course, Yul correctly diversifying his threats. He could have targeted the land that was already animated and ended up with a 7/7 creature, but
Why didn't he attack
Yul correctly.
with the other one?
That's a fair question. It does give it haste.
Yeah, it says right on it. I mean, is he playing around? What's his life total? 10?
Life total's
he's not
10.
playing around anything on the crack back here.
Now there is he's probably defending against the Shambling Vent.
Against the Shambling Vent, the land there?
Yeah, that's one of the ones that animates. It becomes a 2/3 with lifelink. So my thought is, yeah, he's probably was defending on that play. So there we see the Skyrider Elf, 4 colors that time, so 4 mana for a 4/4 flyer. Nice. So we see just the multicolor nature of Yul's deck coming to the fore there.
I mean, a fair number of colors from Allie as well here.
Oh, sure.
God, I just can't not look at that plains. When it's on the battlefield, it's gorgeous.
Isn't that nice? So right now in Yul's hand, looks like a forest.
Am I going to have to play white cards?
That was my thought, too, when I saw that card.
God, I guess I do.
I have to play all 5 colors. I want to play with all the Noah Bradley lands, actually.
Is that a Noah Bradley land?
Yeah, that was the one he did on a big canvas. That's a painting. It's a painting about the size of the backdrop behind you.
Holy smokes.
He did it on canvas. It's gorgeous. If you look on, he posted a long post about the original artwork to that.
God,
To all 5 of those.
Hang that thing in my
Yeah,
living room.
it's gorgeous.
Canopy Vista was the draw from Yul. Attack coming in with the 2 islands. There we see Allie animates the Shambling Vent into a 2/3 with lifelink. We'll see what blocks she has set up. She's at 13. She does have some flyers, of course not as large as Yul's flyer. There's the block. Allie's hand is empty. So we have the block on the island. That's going to take out one of those creatures. My guess would be the Griffin, and that is what happens.
Drawn as Emissary just keeps ticking away. That card seems very powerful to me.
Yeah. 2/2 flyer drains your opponents for 1 life every upkeep. The white-black deck in Battle for Zendikar loves life gain. And there's a thing, Blood Bond Vampire.
Look at this combo.
Easy for me to say.
This is a great combo.
One of those cards that's the payoff for the life gain effects that you can find.
Like Drawn as Emissary?
Like Drawn as Emissary. It's going to need a turn or 2 to get large enough to block those 4/4 creatures, but once it does, we're going to have an interesting situation on our hands. Yul drawing a lot of land here in the late game.
What's in his hand right now?
So right now, 1 card in his hand is a forest.
Oh.
Again, Allie with no cards in hand, so cards on the table, as they say.
What's the non-basic land in there for Joel?
So Yul has Canopy Vista and an Evolving Wilds. That Evolving Wilds would probably see just to get more lands out of his library. Only 15 cards left in Yul's library. So we may not see an ageless battle as we have seen previously. But
Feels like it.
Yeah, I thought once he cast the second planar outburst,
They should have done it.
That should have been the game.
By all rights.
Planar outburst, make a 4/4.
I thought you just got up from the computer or walked away at that point.
yeah, his follow-up draws were not strong.
I mean, that was
though,
certainly how he
so-
drafted those cards.
Yeah.
He reserved the planar outburst, walked away, helped his teammates. By the way, when we're done with this, I have Jimmy Wong versus Sam Stoddard queued up.
Cool.
All I know is Sam Stoddard's played a turn 1 Scythe Leopard. That's all I got.
Okay, we move to Yoel's attack. Looks like that island is coming in 4/4. I think Yoel will be happy to get the vampire off the table if there is such a trade,
Either vampire.
but there was not. And Allie falls to 9.
I mean, they're both pretty annoying.
Oh, sure. I meant the blood bond, but yeah, you're definitely correct.
Yeah, and Allie doesn't fall to 9. She goes up to 9.
Oh, I'm sorry. She failed at
Yeah.
8 and went up to 9.
Yeah. That thing is just going to chip away. Like,
Action
he
is-
needs to find an answer.
Action
Oh,
is
no.
Fast and Furious. Ah, there's sheer drop.
Allie with some nice draws. That was off the top of the deck right there.
Absolutely. -1 creature for Yoel. Island down. +1 creature for Allie. Interesting that she animated the Cinderglade, if that's correct.
She did. Does she not need that mana anymore? Doesn't look like she's used it.
She does have 2 Cinderglades in the deck. One of them's an expedition.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a mountain forest
Hey,
elemental.
Speaking of getting rid of that pesky Drana's emissary.
I haven't had a look at her deck list, so I'm not quite sure why the red-green is there. Could be for Converge. Could be for a splash.
Yeah, but to the point here,
Could be for...
complete disregard just took out that Drana's emissary. That was a huge play.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
That was
Yes.
off the top of the deck for Larson, so he had a nice rip there.
So we are
too.
we're trading top decks here in the late game.
But he only had one more turn to get rid of that
Yep.
thing, or else that blood. What is it? Blood what?
Blood Bond
Bond
Vampire was just going to be too large.
Yeah. Wow, this is aggressive.
So Allie crashes in with a 2/3.
This is to get the vampire up to 5/5.
2/3 with lifelink. Fascinating. So that's 1 life gain event. So even though Allie gained 2 life, it only puts 1 counter on Blood Bond Vampire, up to 5/5 now.
Uh-oh, what did Larson rip this time?
Coastal Discovery is
So
my
we have
guess.
Coastal Discovery on
Don't
Yoel's
say that.
side.
Oh, man. That has to be the best card in his deck right there.
It's very Zendikar up in here. Lands are waking up and smashing, and he drew a Rising Miasma.
What is that one?
So that's all creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. Another Awaken spell.
How much does that cost?
So it's 3 and a black to cast it normally, 5 and 2 black, 7 total to cast it with Awaken.
He also drew that Defender there to gum things up a little bit.
Fortified Rampart.
Nice 0/6.
Yeah, that actually helps out quite cleanly against the vampire, doesn't it? Wow. This game's great.
All right, so Yoel hanging on to that Rising Miasma in his hand. Of course, Allie's creatures are quite large, 3/3 and 5/5, so... All right, Allie with 2 cards in hand at 7 life. Let's see what she casts here.
Take a look at it. It was Unified Front.
Okay,
So she got 3 core ally.
right. Explains why she tapped her Cinderglade to get the 3rd color out of it.
Oh, Smite the Monsters for Larson.
That came in out of the board. That was not a main deck card. For
Okay.
him.
And came right off the top of the deck.
Yeah,
Nice.
he's down to 9 cards in his library.
Yeah.
It does look like he's going to be able to finish up here, though. Is he going to cast that Miasma?
Yeah, that
Miasma
Miasma's going to come into play. So goodbye, cores.
And he gets in for 4 damage here. Setting up potentially lethal next turn.
All right, drops Allie to 3.
Oh,
That
and
is
Larson
it.
gets it.
Allie packs it in. Victory for the community team.
All right, I've got Sam Stoddard and Jimmy Wong all queued up here. Sam Stoddard has played a turn 1 Scythe Leopard. And
is that the 1/1 with landfall +1/+1?
it is.
Okay, so it's kind of a 2/2 on turn 1 in some scenarios?
Yes. And it is up against an Evolving Wildstorm Jimmy Wong. Let's pick up the action from that point. So there you see a Fertile Thicket. Give a landfall trigger to the Scythe Leopard. There you see a Blister Pod. Pretty aggressive looking deck here from Sam Stoddard.
By the way, BDM, I'm looking at the point totals.
Yeah.
It's 117 to 116 for the community right now.
Holy cow.
Yeah, this is about as close as they get.
Dominator Drone comes down. Endless One. Wow. A 4/4 Endless One from Jimmy Wong. Oh, from Sam Stoddard. I'm sorry. Yes.
That's Jimmy on the bottom?
Yeah, Jimmy's on the bottom.
Okay.
Smothering Aberration. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature. Oh, that's really sweet with Blister Pod. How often are you going to want to do that, Marshall?
Well,
sacrifice Blister Pod to smother to
do
the
that?
smothering one to draw a card to get a token to
Oh, I'm in. I'm in for that.
Wow. Wow, Swarm Surge. Look at this.
Wow, that's aggressive.
Game has ended. He's just that was a huge that is definitely an information advantage there from Sam Stoddard. Let's see, take a look at the final game here, or the second game. I don't know what the final game. So there we go. And there we go with game 2. Jimmy Wong, he leads off with a Lava Step Raider. So both players very aggressive. Blister Pod from Sam Stoddard, McKindy Slidewinder. So lots of 1 toughness creatures here. Jimmy's on Anticipate. Gets a landfall trigger for his Sidewinder. Oh, a Swell of Growth.
Is that the pump spell?
It is the pump spell, and then he lets him put a Fertile Thicket into play.
Oh. Draw that land?
Yeah. And here is an Eyeless Watcher. Puts 2 Scion tokens into play. So 4 mana for a 1/1, but you also get 2 additional 1/1s with it. Herald of Kozilek for Jimmy. Jimmy's shown blue-red as a preference for himself pretty early on in this format. But oh my gosh, look at this. Zulaport Cutthroat. Altar's Reap to draw some cards. And a 5/5 Endless One. Can Sam Stoddard deal with the Endless One? Can he get away around it? Well, how about Kiora? Let's take a look at the new Planeswalker. Kiora, Master of the Depths.
Whoa, that's shiny too.
Oh, wait a second. How many octopus tokens do you get?
Infinite.
That's
Infinite.
infinite.
It's infinite.
Infinite
Oh, yeah.
octopodes.
No, you just
It's
get
not.
the 3.
It's not infinite, folks.
Here's Chajura Warcaller.
But it's enough.
Oh, look at this card is unreal. Have either of you guys had a chance to play with this yet?
I've had it played against me
creatures?
several times.
Yes.
No, I have
It's just-
not. I will avoid that card.
The guy's
Unless
got
it's
a
in my deck.
the guy's got an overrunning suit.
Yeah, nice. Don't be fooled by the 2/1 body on Tajuru Warcaller.
It's 4/4 enough for you.
That guy's a battle.
Oh my god! And the game, yeah. Well, Sam Stoddard 2-0 over Jimmy Wong. Not like Jimmy Wong had like unreasonable draws in either game. It's just Sam Stoddard was doing fairly unreasonable things.
We've got one match outstanding here now. It's Melissa DeTora versus Adam Staborski, and they're going to game 3.
Well, do we want to check in? I can check in on another match here. I heard that game 1 here between Wedge and Mike Turian was pretty good.
Okay, yeah, we'll come back here for a minute. We're actually going to get a word from Tim Willoughby down on the floor in just a minute here, so we'll jump down to him in just a moment, and then we'll come back up and see what we can show you from our last match. All right, why don't we send it down to Tim right now?
I'm here with Gabriel. You may know him as SG Doc on Twitch, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the nature of the Battle for Zendikar format that the community team faces here, because the full set, the full card reference only became available first thing Friday morning, and by Saturday afternoon you were playing with Battle for Zendikar. Now you've got a Battle for Zendikar draft going on. On the face of things, that looks pretty tough for the community team, because various members of the Wizards of the Coast team, they worked on developing this set. What were you looking at to kind of redress the balance a little bit?
Well, we basically got down to business and just crunched everything we could over the last 2 days. I have some close friends that are a lot better at Magic than I am back in New York in Team Draft League, and they basically decided to compile all the numbers that they could. So we have a list of every single common and uncommon. We have a full pick order that we've edited personally, and also had a lot of experienced members of pro teams put in input on. We feel confident that we made the right picks today, and we got to help our teammates out. That was a huge factor, being able to sort of run around. I burned a lot of calories during that draft, let's say.
Yeah, I could see yourself, Kenji, Joel, all kind of spending just the bare minimum amount of time at your seats, really, as you went around to check everybody's drafts, make sure that everyone was kind of on track and helping each other out where they could. I mean, actually speaking to Wedge after this round, Anthony DeConto, he was basically saying, thanks, Doc, for winning me that round, because a lot of it was about coordinating the draft and making sure the community could do as much as possible to help each other out. And also, of course, the community back in New York and various others that have helped about getting a strategy together for this format.
Yeah, it was a huge help just having, actual members of the community, not us, just putting in whatever they could. And that came from all over the place. Came from Europe for Yoel, and for me from New York. Yeah, that's been a huge help for preparation.
Yeah, so community at home, do not forget to log on to Magic Online at some point this weekend, because if the community team is able to pull this out, there will be something.
When?
There will be something pretty nice in your Magic Online account if you manage to log in this weekend while the Community Cup's going on. If things go wrong, it might not be quite so exciting, but at the moment that is very definitely not the plan, right, Doc?
We're up this round. It's either an elevator up or just a rocket ship up. It's either going to be 6-2 or 5-3, and yeah, we're making up those points.
Awesome stuff. This round is just closing out now. We'll have another round for you very, very shortly, but for now, we'll head things back to the booth.
At the Community Cup, we are ready to finish off this round one of our booster draft here. We've got the Stibs versus Melissa DeTora. So that's Adam Staborski and Melissa, and they're in the early stages of their third game here, and it looks like Melissa's the one who's beating down here. She's got a few 1-1s that are rumbling against Stibsy here.
Yeah, like Doc said, things took a good turn for the community in this round.
Wow, she got a From Beyond. So jealous. For Awakening Zone fans from a few years ago, it's back and better. Costs 4 mana now.
Does cost 4 mana, but those tokens you get are 1/1s.
And it also
which are
lets you
nice.
tutor for your big Eldrazi.
Yeah, the card's amazing. Screw that. I'm just gonna beat people down with the 1/1s, right? It's like, have you ever played against Bitter Blossom before?
I don't know if it's quite Bitter Blossom.
It's just a random question.
I have played with and
All right,
against
well, From
Bitter
Beyond is
Blossom.
exactly Bitter Blossom, so
Maybe even better Blossom.
it's Better Blossom. Thank you, BDM.
Yeah, here's another one of those retreats that I was talking about earlier, Retreat to Emeria.
Oh, no. Look at this combo.
With all those Eldrazi Scions under Melissa's control.
You mean the 2/2s that she
Yeah,
has
pumping
now?
them up to 2/2 is nice.
Gosh, she's going to get a new one every turn, and in every landfall she can just pump them all? That's insane.
So a tide of destruction is raining down upon Stibs right now.
Remember we were talking about that card Tajura Stalwart before?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty good if Melissa played one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Giving her team +2/+2. Pretty
Or
solid.
+3/+3
Right.
on landfall.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Her
She has one in her deck.
Oh, no. Her
That-
ever-growing team here, it must be said as well. The From Beyond is just spewing out tokens, and even Retreat from Emeria can if she wants it to. What's a Hedron Archive do? Oh, yeah, right.
It's double Mind
The
Stone.
in-between, yeah.
Double
Sure.
Mind Stone, 2/3 of a Dreamstone Hedron.
That's right.
Is that right?
That's correct. I mean, it's not a bad Magic card, but Stibs is going to need a little more board-affecting presence if he's going to get the job done here. All right, that helps. A sheer drop. Stem the bleeding a little bit.
A little bit.
Not a lot.
The tide of tokens is on the move.
And the thing is, he just doesn't seem to have an answer for the From Beyond, and it's just going to every turn keep generating her real advantage on the board. Stibbs decides not to attack. Seems unlikely that he's going to be able to win a race by attacking, but at the same time, it seems like blocking isn't really going to be a great option for him either. Could take another 6 damage this turn. Yep, and there you go.
The anthem effects keep coming.
Wow, is that a cliffside
lookout just hit the table on that
BDM,
side.
are you seeing this? She's just assembled like a do-it-yourself every turn overrun here.
So Melissa, with any number of ways to pump up her team.
She could pump them all right now. If they go unblocked, that would leave Stibbs at 2.
If they go blocked, his guys are just going to get eaten.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess Stibbs could double block one of them and trade, but it's still taking up to 6 in that scenario.
And that's it. 9 down to 2 goes Stibbs, and he's going to be dead next turn.
Not a lot of good options.
Without some type of sweet sweeper here. He plays his land right away. Now, you got to figure if he doesn't have it now, he's going to crack that Hedron Archive.
That's going to leave him with just...
Oh, no, he didn't. He
Drowner
played a
of Hope.
Drowner of Hope. Okay, that's going to spew out a couple of 1/1 Eldrazi's as well as a 5/5 and help him stabilize his board a bit. Actually, he's just dead on board, isn't he?
Well, he has enough blockers.
Does he, though? 1, 2, 3,
Here's 5.
4, 5. Okay, yeah. Okay.
But not
enough, but
not
enough.
enough.
Yeah.
Only the Drowner itself, I think, is large enough to survive the attack. And Melissa's at a comfortable 16 life, so I think
She can just rumble with the
she
squad
can
here.
just rumble. Even if she loses the Cliffside Lookout, I think it's fine because Stibbs is going to lose all 4 of his other creatures. Or excuse me, all. So there we see a landfall trigger, retreat to mirror. Yeah,
And
Melissa
Stibbs-
will take it.
Stibbs is just going to scoop it up, and Melissa DeTora wins one for Wizards of the Coast. So
Melissa's
that
deck
does it for the...
looks
It looks great.
Really good.
Yeah, From Beyond is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Retreat from Ameria seems like it might be pretty ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
I agree. Yeah, in any type of a stally, mid-rangey scenario, that card's just going to spew out value, and if you happen to be ahead already, it's going to keep you there.
A smile from Melissa.
And
Head,
why
a
not?
shake of the head from Staborski.
Staborski. Yeah. It's a, ooh, hey
And
now.
he says that card's tough to beat.
It's all right. He'll take some notes maybe for the next round. He's got 2 to go.
And welcome back to the booth here at the Community Cup. So I don't have the full deal, but we're kind of getting it all together. Let's head over to the red zone and Brian David Marshall.
Sure, guys. We're gonna pick this thing up on turn 4 here between Wedge and Mike Turian, and turn 3, I should say. Sorry, a Felidar Cub has just attacked. Shadow Gliders come down, and Mike Turian's trying to hide behind a blister pod. So McKindy Patrol comes down. Its Rally ability gives Wedge's creatures vigilance. And there's a Hedron Archive for Mike Turian. This is not a very Mike Turian-y deck. Here's another McKindy Patrol, double vigilance. Little known ability.
Has Turian attacked for 2 yet this game?
No, he hasn't. He's chump blocked
That's
once.
what?
Yes, he has chump blocked
I didn't even know he knew how to do that.
So there you see he was able to cast Grip of Desolation and take out one of Wedge's lands and one of Wedge's creatures. But Mike is still in pretty desperate shape here. Yeah, the game is over. Wedge wins game 1, despite Mike Turian getting to cast Grip of Desolation. So let's take a look and see what the next game there was. Oh, or we could go to an interview. Sounds like you guys have something ready on the floor.
All right, yeah. So we're getting Tim Willoughby set up for a quick interview down on the floor. so that we like to keep you in touch with the players on the floor directly rather than just speculation. Let's go down and see what Tim Willoughby's up to on the floor.
I'm here with Sam Stoddard down on the feature match floor. Now, Sam, the Wizards of the Coast team, overnight, well ahead. Had a slightly rough ride of it in terms of Iron Root Chef, and basically everything was locked up coming into the draft. This round, the community team has just edged ahead of you, but you yourself won.
I did. Yeah, I played a black-green splashing blue deck. Got a little Kiora in there. It's not the not the greatest card to splash, but it's very good. It's very good. Usually, often you want to splash for like a some sort of giant removal spell or a huge finisher. This one's really good. It's not the greatest my deck, but my deck is basically based around having lots of spawn, lots of ways to pump my spawn, and it's a pretty aggressive deck with a few tricks up its sleeve.
Now, with 2 rounds to go, everything really hangs in the balance here. Have you had a chance to have a look at the other decks in the Wizards of the Coast team? Do you have a feel for how you feel going into these last couple of rounds?
Overall, after the end of the draft, I was pretty happy. I've seen some of the decks running around the other team. I'm pretty terrified of Larson's deck. I mean, he apparently has 2 planar outbursts and another, the Infest, the Awaken, so... knowing they're there helps out a lot, but it's still a lot to play against. So
yeah, a lot of different ways to kill off lots of creatures and indeed awaken lots of lands. So Larson, Pro Tour champion, looking pretty scary. But the community team did well that round. Everything hanging in the balance with 2 rounds to go. We're going to head back to the booth for now because soon enough we've got the second to last round here at the Community Cup.
Thank you, Tim, for that. And let's see what BDM's got going for us over in the red zone.
Game 2 here of the match between Mike Turian and Wedge. And we're going to pick things up. Mike Turian has just made his play for turn 2. It's a carrier thrall. There you get a look at it. And we're going to pick up the action. Turn 2 is a Colostra Healer from Wedge. Take a look at that card. It's a Vampire Cleric ally. And whenever you get to do a little draining of your opponent's life whenever you play an ally creature. So there you see 2 healers over the first couple turns. Natural Connection for mana for Turian, a Territorial Baloth. This is such a non-Turian-like deck. Courier Griffin, a little life gain there for Wedge. In comes the Baloth. And Wedge takes that big hit and just falls to 19. Plays Hedron Archive, Call of the Scions, and then we get on with this crazy vigilance nonsense.
Looks like some crazy draining nonsense there also.
Yeah. The ally, not only gives it vigilance, but he gets to two rally abilities there from the healers. So Mike's amassing a little army there. And he casts... We see a Grip of Desolation from Wedge. Ooh, Sire of Stagnation is an exciting card. 6 mana for a 5/7. Oops, never mind.
It was exciting.
It was so exciting that it fell to a ruinous path almost instantly. So Mike a little under the gun here. He can't really deal with that flyer. He's been getting sort of nibbled to death by ducks with the life drain ability, and then there's a Defiant Bloodlord. Wow. So whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. That's going to be nice with the Colostria healers if they get to live that long, but he doesn't. Oh, how about ally Gideon, ally of Zendikar? Immediately instant emblem.
I mean, he kind of bounced off the ground and into the graveyard.
He bank shotted him right into the graveyard.
Yeah.
So that's a permanent crusade there now.
That was game.
Yeah, that's it.
You fast forward it. It is done.
That was real speed. So Wedge takes down the Pro Tour champion, the Hall of Famer, in Mike Turian.
Hey, welcome back to the booth here at the Community Cup. We're in Renton, Washington, and we've got a scoreboard up to you.
This is what I've been waiting for.
After the first round of Battle for Zendikar Draft,